Donald Trump was not a typical president. Before he took office in 2017, he was already a famous businessman and television star. His time in the White House was full of big decisions, controversies, and surprises. Some people loved his leadership while others strongly disagreed with him. But no matter what, his presidency changed America in many ways. What was Donald Trump's life like as the President of the United States? Let's take a deep look at his time in the White House. Early days in office. When Donald Trump became president on January 20th, 2017, he promised to bring big changes. He signed many executive orders in his first weeks, focusing on immigration, business regulations, and military policies. One of his most controversial decisions early on was the travel ban, which restricted entry into the U.S. from several Muslim-majority countries. This caused protests and legal battles. He also focused on the economy, promising to cut taxes and create jobs. He started working on what would become one of his biggest achievements, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. This law lowered corporate taxes and aimed to boost businesses. Many companies benefited from lower taxes, but some critics argued it helped the wealthy more than the middle class. Trump also prioritized deregulation, rolling back numerous environmental and business regulations to encourage economic growth. Additionally, he pushed for stronger border security, advocating for the construction of a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. Major policies and decisions. Trump wanted to make America's economy stronger, and he often talked about bringing jobs back to the country. He encouraged businesses to invest in the U.S. instead of moving operations to other countries. One of his biggest focuses was renegotiating trade deals. He replaced NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement, with a new deal called the USMCA, United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, which changed some trade rules and helped certain industries like farming and auto manufacturing. His foreign policies were also unique. He took a strong stance against China, placing heavy tariffs on Chinese goods, which led to a trade war. He also had historic meetings with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, trying to reduce nuclear tensions. While these meetings were dramatic, they did not lead to any major agreements. One of his biggest domestic policies was his focus on border security. He promised to build a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border to stop illegal immigration. While parts of the wall were built, the full project was not completed. His strict immigration policies led to debates, especially when reports came out about families being separated at the border. Handling of crises. Every president faces challenges, and Trump had many during his time in office. One of the biggest was the COVID-19 pandemic. In early 2020, the virus spread rapidly across the world, and the U.S. was hit hard. At first, Trump downplayed the severity of the virus, but as cases grew, his administration took action by speeding up vaccine development through Operation Warp Speed. His handling of the pandemic was heavily criticized. Some believed he acted too slowly, while others praised him for pushing the vaccine's development. The economy also suffered during this time, with businesses shutting down and millions of Americans losing jobs. Trump pushed to reopen the economy as soon as possible, saying that keeping businesses closed for too long would do more harm than good. Another major event during his presidency was the Black Lives Matter protests in 2020. After the killing of George Floyd, protests erupted across the U.S. Trump responded with strong law and order messaging, calling for strict action against rioters. His response divided the country even more, with supporters praising his toughness and critics saying he lacked compassion. Impeachments and political battles. Trump was one of the most controversial presidents in American history, and the House of Representatives impeached him twice. The first impeachment in 2019 was over a phone call with Ukraine's president, during which Trump was accused of pressuring Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden's son. The Senate later acquitted him, meaning he stayed in office. The second impeachment came in January 2021 after the Capitol riot. On January 6th, a crowd of Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol building, trying to stop Congress from certifying Joe Biden's election win. Many blamed Trump for encouraging the crowd, and he was impeached again. However, once again, the Senate did not convict him, so he was not removed from office. Throughout his presidency, Trump had a rocky relationship with the media. He frequently called news outlets like CNN and the New York Times fake news and had intense battles with reporters. His use of Twitter was also unprecedented for a president. He tweeted daily, often attacking his opponents, announcing policies, and sharing his thoughts directly with the public. Life in the White House. Trump's lifestyle in the White House was different from past presidents. He often spent weekends at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida, calling it the Winter White House. Unlike previous presidents who took daily intelligence briefings, Trump preferred shorter summaries. He also enjoyed watching television, especially news channels that supported him. His family played a big role in his administration. His daughter, Ivanka Trump, and her husband, Jared Kushner, were senior advisors, influencing decisions on business and foreign policy. His wife, Melania Trump, focused on her Be Best campaign, which aimed to improve children's well-being and fight cyberbullying. Trump hosted many high-profile events at the White House, including celebrations for sports teams, military events, and state dinners with world leaders. His press conferences were often unpredictable, with fiery exchanges between him and reporters. Election and leaving office. The 2020 election was one of the most intense in U.S. history. Trump faced Joe Biden, and as the election results came in, it became clear that Biden had won. Trump, however, refused to accept the results, claiming there was widespread voter fraud. He and his legal team launched multiple lawsuits, but none of them changed the outcome. His refusal to concede led to one of the most dramatic moments in American history, the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot. After he encouraged his supporters to fight like hell to stop what he called a stolen election, thousands of people stormed the Capitol. This event led to his second impeachment and further divided the country. On January 20th, 2021, Trump left the White House, choosing not to attend Biden's inauguration, something that had not happened in over 150 years. He flew to Florida and continued to claim the election was unfair. Even after leaving office, he remained a major political figure, influencing the Republican Party and planning a possible return to politics. Donald Trump's presidency was one of the most eventful in U.S. history. Whether you agreed or disagreed with his policies, there's no denying that his time in office changed the country in many ways. What do you think was the most memorable moment of Trump's presidency? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content.